But we're very much looking forward to this call today and to bringing you all together. This is our opportunity to thank our partners and our sponsors, to thank all of you out there who have delivered World Migratory Bird Day programs, to thank our artists, and to announce the theme and the artist for the coming year. So we have a lot to cover in a very short amount of time. And with that, I'm going to get started by reminding you that World Migratory Bird Day is a global event. Environment for the Americas coordinates World Migratory Bird Day in the Americas. But we have partners around the world who make this possible in all parts of all flyways, so that we are working with the conservation of migratory birds, around the world. And without further ado, I'd like to introduce Florian Kyle, who is with the Convention on Migratory Species, and he's with us today. We're so happy to have you, Florian, to share a few words from the Convention on Migratory Species.
Thank you, Susan. Good afternoon, everyone. Yes, my name is Florian. I'm working at the Convention on Migratory Species and the African-Eurasian Waterbird Agreement, a treaty specialized in protecting migratory waterbirds across Europe and Africa. And we're a shared unit, and we're basically the focal points for World Migratory Bird Day. So CMS and Iowa are two of the four global partners, and we're very excited to be part of World Migratory Bird Day and have been cooperating with the EFTA and EAFP for many years now. It's the power of this partnership that really makes this campaign come alive and grow and be a global campaign. And yeah, we've had many exciting things this year happen. I think this was a record year, breaking all records when we look back. Over 800 registered events, many of them across the Americas Flyway. But we've also had some, exciting media coverage globally. Susan, I don't know if you're controlling the slides or anyone, but I think the next slide is the one I wanted to show. Yeah, thank you. So just to highlight some of the global things that we've managed to trigger through World Migratory Bird Day, and it's really due to this partnership. We've been featured on the UN official website again twice, both in May and in October, with this year's theme, Shared Spaces, Creating Bird-friendly Cities and Communities. This is not a given. This is something that is a testament for the real power of this campaign, and the fact that the UN is featuring it across the whole weekend in all UN languages on the main UN website, I think is something that we should all be proud of. Also, the wonderful graphics, the amazing poster that we put together as a team, and the artists that behind it, but also the joint statement that we made as a partnership. We had a video message from all our heads. So Susan for EFTA, Amy Frankel for CMS, Jacques Trouillet for Iowa, and Jennifer George for the EAFP came together in one nice, strong message, video message for this year's campaign. And we also did a little event here in Bonn. So I'm based in Bonn, Germany. It's dark outside already. 8 p.m. here. But yeah, we managed to get ICLEI, the organization dealing with cities worldwide, and do an event with us here in Bonn at the House of Nature. And it's just one of many examples of things that are happening. So that's it from my side, just as a reminder of all the amazing things we've done. I'm happy to be part of this closing ceremony, and look forward to seeing all the exciting things that happened in the Americas. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Florian. And just for everyone out there, so we meet weekly. I know that people used to ask me, oh, well, after Migratory Bird Day, what do you do the rest of the year? And I can tell you that we are busy all year round, and with continuous planning for the upcoming events. I'd like to introduce next Min-jae Beck. She's the communications officer for the East Asian Australasian Flyway Partnership, and she's based out of South Korea. So she is now with us at about 4 in the morning. So thank you so much, Min-jae, for taking the time to be here today and for saying hello to everyone.
Thank you, Suzanne. Hello, nice to meet you all. Greetings from South Korea. Yeah, I'm Min Jae-baek, Communications Officer at the East Asian Australasian Flyway Partnership. And yeah, I would like to send and deliver the greetings from the Chief Executive of East Asia Australasian Flyway Partnership, Ms. Jennifer George. So the EAAFP partnership. So we are a partnership across the Flyway, East Asia Australasian Flyway, and working to conserve migratory waterbirds and their habitat and the livelihood that depends on them. So we really sincerely appreciate the time and commitment and the vision that all participating organizations have dedicated to this initiative, the World Migratory Bird Day. And our collective effort has played a crucial role in advancing our shared mission and strengthening cooperation across the flyways. So from the East Asian Australasian Flyway, we promoted the public awareness on the concept of the shared spaces following our slogan and theme. And the translation of the slogan into 17 East Asian Australasian Flyway languages enabled the people across the Asia to participate in the campaign. So we also have achieved so much together over the past year, and congratulations on a successful and impactful year-round campaign. We also deeply value the partnership that have made these accomplishments possible, and we look forward to continuing our close collaboration as we work toward even greater achievement for migratory waterbirds and landbirds as well, and their habitat and the communities that depend on them together. Okay, thank you.
Thank you so much, Minjay. And again, thank you for joining us in the middle of your night, and to you and Florian for your wonderful partnership. We appreciate that so much, and it's what makes World Migratory Bird Day such a strong program and what has helped it to grow over these years. So thank you for joining us today and for this wonderful collaboration. I'd also like to start with our thank you to our America's partners who help support World Migratory Bird Day. It takes a lot of work getting all of the education materials prepared, delivering them to our partners, creating the art and the messaging. Like I said, it's a year-round effort. I'd like to begin with some of our global flyways partners. So the U.S. Forest Service and Michael Rizzo will be speaking on behalf of the Forest Service and their Migratory Species Conservation Program. But they have been a long-term supporter of the program, which is an incredible help to us. It means that we can plan for the year, that we can work towards helping people implement conservation integrated into their programming. So, Mike, I want to turn it over to you for a few words, and thank you for joining us today.
Thank you, Susan, and thank you everyone for the invitation. So, on behalf of the U.S. Forest Service, I just want to congratulate Susan and the entire EFTA team and all of the partners and everyone who's implementing WMBD and bird conservation projects. Um, EFTA they work tirelessly. I mean, the project is strong and it grows every year. I've been working as a partner with EFTA for over 15 years at this point, and it's strong. It's not only in the Americas now; it's around the globe. This is World Migratory Bird Day is one of our most important outreach programs. It just lends itself well to connecting people with nature and conservation. And I just want to say the theme for 2025, the shared spaces theme, it really just captures the essence of what we are trying to accomplish of connecting people with nature, and that's from speaking from the heart is personally what I love about WMBD. It's about birds, it's about conservation, but it's also about people. It's about people and communities. Many of you who are listening, I've noticed some of the names here in the participant list. I've noticed a lot of folks from community partners across the U.S., a lot of our friends from the Programa de Aves Urbanas, PAU, throughout the Americas, not just in Mexico. All of you, EFTA, all of you, the partners, you're the ones who make this happen. So I just want to thank you and thank you for the invitation to speak.
Thank you so much, Mike. And again, Mike is always there. He's not just a partner in terms of supporting the program. He's also a partner in ideas and energy. So thanks so much, Mike, for always being there. And I want to add that I'm love seeing who's joining. We have participants not only from the United States and Mexico, Central and South America, but also Nigeria and other parts of the world now, which really shows how global the program has become. It's just really great to see. So love having everyone on. Uh, Next, I'd like to introduce the National Park Service. The National Park Service has also been with us for so many years, and our efforts with World Migratory Bird Day and partnership with the National Park Service have grown and really changed over the years, and now it's even implemented with our internship programs, which we coordinate with the National Park Service. And with us today is Caitlin Campbell, our partner in several internship programs, including our Fish and Feathers program, which introduces youth to fishing and birding, and our Let's Go Birding initiative. So, Caitlin, I'd love to have you come on and say a few words.
Thank you, Susan. Thank you, everyone. It's great to be here in virtual community with you and celebrate World Migratory Bird Day. Our directorate is so fortunate to partner with Environment for the Americas to host these internships that Susan mentioned across the National Park Service. So from Guam to Alaska, truly across the breadth of the United States National Park Service system, our interns are out there connecting people to birds. But before those interns can connect visitors to birds and make those connections to the public, those young people have to fall in love with birds and understand birds. And I think that's one of my personal joys of getting to be a partner with Environment for the Americas, is because Environment for the Americas loves birds, home of World Migratory Bird Day. And truly, I think my highlight of 2025 was being able to witness gathering all of these young people for our intern training workshop that we hold in Colorado each year, and just witnessing the magic of these interns and having their passion for birds being stoked through things like doing bird banding for the first time and holding gently a bird and taking measurements and releasing it back out into nature. So these internships, they make a huge impact on the National Park Service system. They reach thousands of people, visitors from across the world. And we are just so thankful that Environment for the Americas helps those interns spark that love of birds that they can continue to spark in the public, so that we have entire next generations of people who appreciate birds, the ecosystems that they live in. So thank you, Environment for the Americas. Congratulations to you and all your partners on another wonderful year of advocacy. And thanks for bringing your love and knowledge to the National Park Service. We appreciate you.
We appreciate you too, Katie, and the National Park Service. You guys are great partners, and the internship programs and all the World Migratory Bird Day events through internship programs and independently at parks. It's just been a constant in the life of the event. So thank you very much, and thanks for joining us today. And I'd like to also thank, we have so many supporters. I wish we could have everybody on, but we don't have time for everybody. But we do have different levels of partnership, and I'd like to acknowledge our title partners this year, the Fish and Wildlife Service, Bird-freindly, and the Bureau of Land Management. Partners in Flight is always a supporter of the program as a coalition of groups interested in bird conservation, and this is their keystone, actually, education program. But with that, I'd like to bring on Renee Chi with the Bureau of Land Management, an agency that does so much conservation and habitat protection. It's been an important part of Migratory Bird Day for a number of years, as along with the Park Service and the Forest Service. So Renee, I'd love to turn it over to you for a few words from your agency.
Thank you, Sue. Yeah, on behalf of the Bureau of Land Management, we really want to thank Environment for the Americas and all the other partners that make World Migratory Bird Day happen. Each year, it seems as if the theme is so carefully chosen, and the artwork that is highlighted and all the educational materials that come along with that, as well as webinars, are invaluable for BLM, as well as provide these great opportunities to to educate and reach out with the public, adults and kids alike, and gives us an opportunity to connect with them through the lens of bird conservation, which is one of the most accessible wildlife groups out there. So really, thank you so much for all of your thoughtful work every year and all the work you do throughout the year to keep the word out and keep it on people's radars, how important birds are and how connected we really are to them, and where there are opportunities to always do a little bit more.
Thank you, Renee. And I want to pass the thanks along. Environment for the Americas, we do a lot of the structural work with our partners across the Americas, but it's everybody and many more who are on this call that actually put the event into play on the ground. And I'm still loving seeing who's coming on. We have someone from Uganda, from Mexico, from Peru. So from Mexico again, Colombia. So thanks to all of you for joining. Congratulations to you for your work and for supporting World Migratory Bird Day. Our next supporter of World Migratory Bird Day that I'd like to highlight is Feather Friendly. And this was so wonderful to have Feather Friendly come on this year, especially with our shared spaces theme. And as we discussed, 7 actions that people can take for the protection of birds. Feather Friendly came on in full force. I want to bring on Paul Grollo. But thanks so much to Paul for the contribution to making this theme and the topic of windows and collisions, so a big one this year. Even in our office, we had so much more attention given to the window issue and birds colliding with windows. And it's because of Paul, who is constant in his work on this topic, and also for providing education kits that we've used at events, for awarding window film to groups this year, and to just helping us raise the awareness. We have distributed so much more window film from our office alone. So Paul, thank you so much for joining us.
Well, thank you, Sue. First of all, a major thanks for even allowing us the opportunity to be a part of this. It is so near and dear to our hearts, and obviously what we do as a company. We strictly focus on bird collision mitigation. Touching on a few things that were already mentioned about the global reach of Environment of Americas and World Migratory Bird Day. We just celebrated our 48th projects in over 48 countries now, with Peru just being a recent project we did. We find that, a big part of this, and I know I'm preaching to the choir here, is that it's about education and conservation. Having that constant conversation around, just in the USA, we know that over 1 billion birds are killed per year due to collisions. We know that we're losing our avian species at alarming rates. We also know that this is a global problem. Dr. Daniel Clem just published a paper that has collisions documented in 90 countries, with well over 1,700 species being a part of the collisions. And the more we can do to talk about this, the more that we can have those conversations, the more glass that can be treated, again, which is what our goal is. And again, Sue, thank you so much for the opportunity to be a part of it, to sponsor opportunities, to give out product, to raise that awareness. And I'm very humbled by the group that is here. And I'm so grateful that we had the opportunity. This was our first year, and learning from the other partners and being able to develop new connections and partnerships. So again, thank you to you all. I'm humbled by this and am learning, and that's what it's all about. Thank you.
Thank you, Paul. And it looks like you have kind of a fan club going here. So much
Wow.
appreciated.
I'm,
And
I'm
we
grateful
hope
for that.
yeah, and we hope to see so much more window film going out, and really appreciate the advances you're making in that arena. It's so much easier for people to do this now. So thank you very much. Next, I'd like to thank our program partners, and we have a number of them. We don't have anyone speaking today from this group, but I want to thank the Smithsonian and their bird-friendly program. They're busy with some programming today and couldn't join us, but they helped us to address the topic of coffee and the importance of shade coffee. Optics for the Tropics is always with us, and we want to thank Optics for the Tropics for the contribution of binoculars, which we distribute across Latin America and the Caribbean, to the Department of Defense, which also is a large land conservation agency. And we appreciate their support of World Migratory Bird Day on military lands. And Vortex Optics, which works with us to help distribute binoculars across the Americas, and also PEPCO, who helps to support the program and has helped support the program for a number of years as well. And finally, I want to thank our friends, and these are groups that help us to raise awareness of World Migratory Bird Day. They help to motivate their partners and their constituents to participate in the program. So I want to give a big shout out to Nature Canada, who works across Canada. You'll hear from them a bit later in the program. With Birds Canada as well. Birds Caribbean, which works across the Caribbean region, and we have so many islands involved in the program. And to the Programa de Aves Urbanas, which you'll also hear from them a bit later in the program as we report out. And from CONABIO, which is the governmental agency that supports World Migratory Bird Day. And I'd like to introduce Humberto Berlanga. At this point, we will switch to Spanish for just a few moments. So for those of you who don't speak Spanish, you'll want to go into the translation room. Claudia will translate into English. Humberto will be speaking in Spanish. But I want to give a big thanks to Humberto. He has been a constant supporter of World Migratory Bird Day. He comes to events. I just saw him in Mexico as we recognized a new bird city, which celebrated, among other things, World Migratory Bird Day. So Humberto, thanks for joining us today.
Hola, Susan. ¿Me escuchas?
Sí.
Hello, Susan. Can you hear me?
Perfecto.
Yes.
Muchas gracias.
Perfect.
Pues sí, soy
Thank you.
Humberto Berlanga.
Yes, I'm Humberto Berlanga. Greetings to everyone from CONABIO, the National Commission
Biodiversidad de México.
of the Conservation of Biodiversity in
Pues además de
Mexico.
celebrar el
And
Día de las
besides
Aves Migratorias
celebrating
y
the
el Día
World
de los
Migratory
Espacios
Bird
Compartidos,
Day and the theme of
nosotros
shared
queremos celebrar
spaces, we
nuestra
want
alianza
to
con
also
ESA,
celebrate
muchos años
our
en
collaboration
lo que
with
a
Environment for the Americas,
constructiva
which has been
simbiosis,
happening for many years.
muchos
We've had a very
aprendizajes, mucha
constructive
colaboración,
symbiosis, a lot of learnings, a lot of
especialmente
collaboration,
con la
especially
alianza que se ha creado
with the
con
alliance
aves
that we have
urbanas,
been
con
able to
250
create through
coordinadores
the
voluntarios
Urban
trabajando en
Birds
México
program,
y
where we
muchos
have
otros
over
más
250
trabajando ahora en
volunteers
América
working in
Latina
Mexico and a
con
lot more
intensidad
working
y
throughout Latin
pues
America. That
esperamos
makes us very
seguir
happy,
colaborando.
and we hope to
Quiero agradecer
continue this
especialmente a Susan,
collaboration. I also
a los
want to thank Susan,
patrocinadores,
particularly
Environment
to
for the
our
Americas y
sponsors,
también
to Environment for the
el Día de
Americas,
las Aves Migratorias.
and
Gracias
to
también
the
a
World
Daniela, quien
Migratory
es
Bird Day.
coordinadora aquí en
Also, I
México,
want to
y
thank
gracias
Daniela,
a
who's the
los
coordinator
coordinadores
here
de
in
FAO
Mexico,
por todas
and
partes. Muchas gracias por su
thanks
trabajo.
to the
Se les agradece a
coordinators of
todos.
the
Seguimos
program
trabajando. Un abrazo.
everywhere. Congratulations for your work,
Muchas
and big hugs
gracias,
to everyone.
Humberto, otra vez.
Thank
Y
you,
por favor,
Humberto,
Daniela,
again.
¿puede
And
introducir
Daniela,
a Ana
now
María?
can you introduce Ana Maria, please?
Claro.
Of course.
Pues un gusto. Gracias a
Well,
todos por acompañarnos
I'm
hoy.
very
Estoy
happy
muy
to be here.
emocionada
Thank you for
de
being able
que
to
esté
log
aquí
in
nuestra
today.
artista de este año.
I'm very excited
Pues
to have our
artista, tuvimos
Artist of
la
the
suerte
Year
de que
today
fuera
because we were
una
lucky
artista mexicana muy
enough to have
talentosa.
a
Entonces
Mexican
le doy la bienvenida
artist
a
for
Ana
this
Mari.
year. I
El
want to
gusto de estar
welcome
por
Ana
acá y
Mari.
que
We
es
are very
importante tan
happy to have
bonita
you
que han
here,
estado muy
and thank you
contentos.
for creating the art for this year, which is beautiful. We are very happy with it.
Muchísimas gracias.
Thank you.
Pues muchísimas gracias por la
Uh,
invitación.
Thank you for the
Gracias a
invitation.
Environment for the
I
Americas.
want to
Particular
thank
gracias
Environment for the Americas, and in
Daniela,
particular,
a
I want to
Susan,
thank
a
Daniela,
Miguel y
Susan,
también a Humberto
Miguel,
por apoyar mi
and
trabajo desde
Humberto
el
for
inicio.
supporting
Yo me
my
siento
work
muy
from the
honrada de haber
beginning.
sido
I am very
elegido
honored
este año
to
como
have been
artista. Disfruté
chosen
muchísimo el
as the
proyecto y
artist. I
como
enjoyed the
Mike
project a
Rizzo
lot.
mencionó, la
And
temática de este
like
año
Mike
creo que
Rizzo
justo
mentioned, I think the
resume
theme for
la
this
intención
year
que muchos de nosotros
summarizes the
tenemos hacia las
intention
aves.
that a lot of us
Em,
have towards
y les
birds.
quería compartir un poquito
And I wanted to
brevemente del
share a little
proceso.
bit very briefly about the
Em,
process.
Susan y Miguel y Dani
Susan
me
and
compartieron unas
Miguel
ideas
and
generales
Dani
sobre la
shared some
temática de
general
este año,
ideas
que
on the
era
theme for
relacionar
this year,
justo
which
los espacios
was
compartidos de las aves
shared
y los seres
spaces
humanos. Entonces queríamos incorporar elementos de
between
la
birds
ciudad, del
and
campo,
humans.
así
So
como
we
también
wanted
las
to add
interacciones
elements from the
para
city,
ayudar a las
from the
aves. Y
countryside,
pasamos por
and
una serie
also
de bocetos. Aquí
strategies
nada
to
más les
help
pongo
birds.
dos, pero
So
hubo
we
otro par
work
de bocetos
with
que
a series of
revisamos.
sketches.
Aquí todavía no se
I'm
habían
going to
definido
show
las
you
aves.
only two for
Y el
now. Here
siguiente,
we
por favor.
hadn't
Y después de
uh,
una serie de
chosen what
reuniones y
species to work
charlas,
with.
llegamos al
And
boceto
after a
final,
couple
que
of
es el de
meetings and
la
conversations,
izquierda, en
were
donde ya
able to
tenemos las
reach the
especies
final draft
definidas.
where
Aquí
we
ya había
already had
pasado por
decided on the
diferentes
species
comentarios,
to
arreglos.
include.
Una vez que ya
This is
estábamos
after a lot of
seguros de
tweaking,
la
a lot of
composición y
feedback.
las especies
And
finales,
once
pues
we
ya
were
me
sure
puse
about the
a
composition and the
ilustrar. La
final
técnica
species, then I
fue
started with the
digital
illustration.
en
It
Procreate.
was a digital technique. I used
Y
Procreate.
pues también incorporamos otras
And
acciones
we
para la
also
conservación de las aves,
incorporated
como justo hacer las ventanas más
conservation
seguras,
activities like
tener a las
making
mascotas
windows
dentro de
safer,
casa,
keeping our pets
también
indoors,
el tipo de
and
lámparas a utilizar
the
para
type of
que
lamps to
no
use
perturben demasiado a
for
las aves.
to
Y por
avoid
supuesto las especies
light
vegetales,
pollution,
pues también
and
alusión
of
a las
course
especies
the plant species are
de aves
related to the
representadas
bird
y
species
también
that
tenemos
are present
representados
in
los
the
cultivos
poster. And we
de
also
cacao.
have the
La siguiente,
the
por favor.
crops.
Yo en verdad quiero agradecer muchísimo, me siento muy, muy honrada de haber
I
sido la
feel
artista de
very,
este año,
very
sobre todo porque me ha
honored
tocado ver por
to
varios
be
años el
chosen
arte
this
de
years,
Environment y
especially
siempre he
because
sido
I've been
súper fan.
witness of the
Tengo
art
los
that
stickers
Environment
de
of the
como
Americas
6 años
has.
diferentes
I
y no
have
me
stickers
esperaba,
from
entonces
like
lo
6
agradezco mucho.
different
Para
years,
mí
and this is something that
significó
I never saw
una
coming. So for
oportunidad muy
me,
importante para
it
colaborar con un
meant a
proyecto
very
que yo
important
personalmente
opportunity to
admiro
be able to
mucho,
collaborate
con
with
el
a
que también
project
he
that I personally
colaborado
admire a
como
lot,
cuando
and
pertenecía
with a
a la
project that
Conavio y al
I
programa de
was
aves
part of
urbanas.
before
Entonces, en
when I
verdad
was
les
part of
agradezco mucho.
Conavio and the
Y
part of the Aves
para los
Urbanas
siguientes
program.
artistas de este proyecto,
And for the
quisiera
upcoming
ofrecerles
artists,
mi
I would
apoyo si
love
necesitaran
to
más
give you
adelante
any
algún
support
consejo
if
en
you ever
cuanto a
need advice
composición o algo en lo que yo pueda apoyar
or
con mucho
opinion
gusto.
on composition. I would be happy to
Disfrútenlo
help
mucho. Quiero
and
agradecer a
enjoy
Environment
it.
por también dar esta
And I
oportunidad a
also want to
los
thank Environment for
artistas
the
de todo el
Americas for
mundo a
giving this
colaborar
opportunity
con
to
proyectos tan
artists
importantes y hacer
around the
llegar
world
nuestra arte
and letting them
a
collaborate in
través de un
such an
mensaje de
important project.
conservación e
And
incorporar
because
a
this
la gente
way
a la
our
conservación
art
de las
is
aves.
able to
Entonces, de
reach
nuevo,
people
muchísimas
with
gracias.
the important message of
Y
conservation. So
cualquier
thank you
duda,
so much.
pregunta, futuras
And any
colaboraciones, les dejo
question,
aquí mi
future
contacto. Y de nuevo,
collaboration that you
gracias
want to have, my
Susan,
contact
Miguel,
is here on the
Dani,
slide.
Humberto
Thank
por
you,
todo el
Susan,
apoyo
Miguel, Dani,
hacia
Humberto, for
mi
all the
trabajo,
support
todo el éxito hacia los
and
siguientes artistas. Y quiero
all the
invitarlos a que
success
se queden al
for
final
the next
de esta
artists. And
charla,
I
en
want to
donde se
invite
va a
you
dar
to
a
stay at
conocer
until the end
el
of
siguiente
the
artista del
presentation because
próximo
we are
año.
going to get to know
Entonces, no
who
se lo
is
pueden
going to
perder
be the
porque es alguien
artist
con
for
mucho,
next year.
mucho talento.
And
Mucho,
it's
mucho
someone very
éxito al siguiente
talented, so
artista.
you don't want to miss them.
And we're gonna, I think, switch back to English now. And so Claudia, let me give you a second to get your head rearranged for translating to Spanish again. For those of you who need the English to Spanish translation, you'll join Claudia now. I just want to say one of the things that makes the World Migratory Bird Day so strong is just all of the work that goes into it from across the Americas and around the world. It's what makes it strong. What makes it relevant in different cultures and different geographies. So thank you, Ana Maria. The art was amazing. We didn't know that we could make this was, I think, the most educational piece of art we've ever had because it's all right there on the poster. beyond the birds. It's everything that we discussed this year is right there. So thank you so much. You're an incredibly talented artist. It's a hard act to follow. So thank you very much. I'd like to turn it over. We did a to Alex, our communications manager here at Environment for the Americas. We did some new activities this year, and one of them was to have a monthly webinar on each of our topics. And this was such a successful activity. We had over 100 to 200 people participating in the webinars, but I won't give those results because I know Alex wants to do that. So Alex, let me turn it over to you.
Yeah, thank you, Susan. Yeah, so like Susan was saying, this year's theme was really special because it brought in so many different calls to actions and addressed so many different threats that birds face. And so one of the ideas that we had was to do a deeper dive on each of these topics. And so we hosted our first ever webinar series. It was monthly on the third Thursday of every month. And each one focused on a different one of these topics. And they had a panel of experts for each one, including authors, policymakers, researchers. And so it was a really, really special way for everybody to come together and to keep the momentum of World Migratory Bird Day going all year long. Next slide, please. And in conjunction with these webinars, we also hosted a photo and essay contest for each one. So participants were invited to submit photos pertaining to each different threat or call to action, as well as write essays about them as well. And so here on the left, you can see a couple of the photos for our plastic pollution and dark skies that we selected. And I also want to just give a particular shout out to Beatrice Tucker in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania from the Springside Chestnut Hill Academy, who won our essay contest for window collisions. And so on the right, you can see that these were some of the windows from her school where she wrote about the need for collision tape. And through the generosity of our sponsors, Feather Friendly, we were able to provide them with window collision tape. And so on the lower photo, you can see some of the students in the school applying that collision tape. So thank you for everybody that joined the webinar series. It was a really special thing that we'd like to continue on in the future. And with that, I will pass it over to Autumn Jordan to give us some regional event highlights from Canada.
Thank you so much, Alex. It's really awesome to be here today. Hi, everyone. My name's Autumn Jordan, the Bird-friendly City organizer at Nature Canada. Nature Canada has been involved and working in collaboration with EFTA on World Migratory Bird Day for, I think, at least 2010. I've been in this role since 2021, and this year I'm really excited to say that it's been our highest amount of World Migratory Bird Day events in Canada. We've celebrated both for the spring and October events, a total of over 90 events across the country in almost every province and territory except for Nunavut. And I wanted to just point out a few highlights here. One of our new bird-friendly cities, Kitchener, Ontario, hosted a month-long World Migratory Bird May. You can see one of their booth tables in the bottom corner here. Their official city bird being the dark-eyed junco on this t-shirt I thought was really cute. So that really blew me out of the water that a first-time partner wanted to host an entire month dedicated to World Migratory Bird Day. In Canada, we had a variety of different events from bird walks, educational outings, workshops on bird window collision mitigation, and we gave away over 50 bird-friendly and bird day resource kits featuring the beautiful art from this year's World Migratory Bird Day. And we also had the opportunity to host a webinar after the May Bird Day where our hosts highlighted and spotlighted some of their events and stewardship projects that were taking place during Bird Day this year. I'm really excited to be a part of this great program. It's one of my favorite parts of my role here at Nature Canada. Loved this year's theme and really excited to maybe hit 100 events next year. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Autumn. We're going to turn it back over to Alex to give this summary for the United States.
Thank you, Autumn. Here in the US, we had some of our most well-attended and biggest registration events so far. We had over 250 events nationwide, all across the country from coast to coast. Cook County, Illinois hosted an event with some bird hikes and banding. Atlanta, Georgia had a birding by bicycle event, as well as Sarasota, Florida, doing bird walks through coastal mangrove forests. Calabasas, California, Saguaro National Park. Every corner of the country hosted a World Migratory Bird Day event this year. So it was a really, really great turnout this year for registered events. Next slide, please. And here in Boulder, Colorado, Environment for the Americas also hosted our annual World Migratory Bird Day at Walden Ponds Wildlife Habitat. And this year we also had our biggest turnout. And we had a live raptor demonstration with peregrine falcon, one of our focal species for this year. We hosted bilingual and accessible guided birding, as well as over a dozen different educators and tabling throughout the event. And it was also a very special year for us because this year we designated Boulder as a bird city through the Bird City Network. So that was something we've been working on a long time with a lot of local supporters and programs. So it was a very, very good year for us, and we were really excited for the turnout this year. And I will now pass it over to Laura to give us an update from the Caribbean.
Hi, everyone. So happy to be here. And thanks, Alex, for the introduction. So I am Laura Babulal from Trinidad and Tobago. I am the World Migratory Bird Day Caribbean Coordinator. And I'm coming to you from a rainy day in Trinidad. And I'm so happy to report that we had so many events in the Caribbean this year across 14 islands or countries. And the Caribbean is quite diverse, where we have English, Spanish, French, and Dutch spoken. And we covered all those different languages across each of our countries, and we hope that it can continue to grow. And for our spring events, we had 14 events, and these events are always in collaboration with Birds Caribbean. And they celebrated Caribbean Endemic Bird Festival along with World Migratory Bird Day. And also we had 37 events in the fall celebrating and focusing on WMBD. Next slide, please. Thank you so much. So we always have such a great variety of events that happens throughout the Caribbean, and also really, really creative, special educators that we have. So we just want to thank you all so much for your continued work, for doing all of the bird watching, artistic, creative outreach with kids, with adults, with communities, and we're always blown away by your work. So thank you all so much, and congratulations on a successful year 2025 of WMBD.
Thank you, Laura. And I'll give a big shout out to Birds Caribbean, and thanks to them again for their support for World Migratory Bird Day in that region. And just a note that they will be hosting their next meeting in Trinidad and Tobago in 2026. So I'm sure if you wanted to join that and see what goes on, that would be a wonderful opportunity. With this, Claudia will once again do a language shift here as we turn it over to Miguel Mata, our Latin American World Migratory Bird Day Coordinator, to introduce reports and activities from Central and South America and Mexico. So Claudia, hopefully you're ready. We'll make this a smooth transition. And Miguel, I'll turn it over to you.
Muchas gracias, Susan, y muchas gracias a todos los que han permanecido.
Thank you, Susan, and thank you to everyone that is present here, listening about all the events that we have been able to have to celebrate this program. We want to thank all of our sponsors, because without you, we wouldn't be able to reach the countries and the regions where we are present now, and particularly in Central America. We work with 5 countries. 4 of them speak Spanish, and 1 of them English speaking, which is Belize. And we were able to send 19 happy kids, or an educational kit where we include different materials like masks, posters, stickers, and every year we have more and more educators and we have limited resources, so we really value the diversity of events and how the materials are used in each of these countries. As you can see, we have a variety of activities. One that we love is the bird trees, where people share positive messages, and it is also our logo for Environment for the Americas. This year, we also had a very useful and educational pamphlet where people identified the actions to build a community that is bird friendly. So congratulations to all the educators in Central America for the efforts to have the program present in the region. And in South America, we were able to work with 10 countries. 9 are Spanish speakers and 1 speaks Portuguese, which is Brazil. In this region, thanks to the ambassadors and thanks to many friends, we were able to send 125 happy kits that became more than 125 events. And there was also a lot of variety in the events. It was in the countryside, bird watching, or carnivals that adopted birds as the main theme of the celebration. We want to thank the educators that highlight the World Migratory Bird Day, and they use it as a flag for their organizations. These programs are really, really big. They reach youth, they reach families, they reach adults. They take place in urban parks, universities, schools, and so we want to thank everyone that has adopted the program and especially with this theme, shared spaces. I'm sure that in our region and each of your regions is a lot more friendly to the birds. And with that, I leave you with Daniela Sosa, who's going to tell you about the events in Mexico. Hello. Again, it's a pleasure to be here. As always in Mexico, I'm super happy of the diversity of events we have had throughout the years. This year, of course, is no exception. There was a lot of enthusiasm from all coordinators. 28 out of the 32 states of the Mexican Republic participated. We had 113 events, 34 in spring and 79 in the fall, and we were able to distribute 97 happy kits. And I'm sure all the coordinators were able to take advantage of the materials. I am very happy with the results. We had small events and we had very big events, events that were shared on social media. We have also some bird cities that always celebrate the World Migratory Bird Day, and we also witnessed a lot of creativity through costumes, bird watching. We also made birds out of clay this year, which was very creative. Some of them created t-shirts. And well, there was music, there was dancing, bird watching, talks at schools, talks at parks, a little bit of everything. So I am always very thankful of the events that took place this year and to the coordinators for their creativity and efforts. And now I'll leave you back with Miguel. Thank you to all coordinators and especially to the educators that help us create this network. I love the program of the World Migratory Bird Day because I imagine it as a big family that extends from Canada to Argentina, and it goes beyond our continent. It is really a program that brings together everyone around the world. And as we know, a lot of people travel between countries, and we offer the opportunity to them to become ambassadors. Ambassadors are people with extra space in their luggage that volunteer to transport or to distribute or to deliver happy kits, educational materials, and all the necessary things to carry out an event for the World Migratory Birthday. We have a very long list of people that made this happen and that helped us reach places in South America. We were able to have ambassadors in Bolivia, Venezuela, Peru, Paraguay, Ecuador, Colombia, and Suriname. In the Caribbean, we were able to reach Cuba, Dominican Republic, Trinidad, and Jamaica. And in the central region in Mexico, we had different ambassadors that were able to travel with materials towards Mexico. And in Central America, specifically, we were able to reach Belize, Guatemala, Nicaragua, Panama, and Costa Rica. To all of you, thank you so much for making possible for the educators to receive the materials necessary to celebrate the events. So if you have a trip planned in 2026, let us know. If you want to become an ambassador, you can write it to our emails and let us know that you have the opportunity to carry some of the materials to other countries. I'm sure that a lot of educators will be thankful for it to them. And now, this is one of the most interesting parts of this session, because every year all educators want to highlight the theme for the year in very different ways. Some of them celebrate throughout the year. Some of them have a particular event that has a high impact on the day that we celebrate. And of course, we would love to acknowledge and give awards to all of them. But there is always someone that stands out because of the creative way of using the official materials, because of their creativity. So we want to mention the highlighted educators, and thanks to Optics for the Tropics, they are going to be able to receive binoculars and educational materials. So the highlighted educators, outstanding educators in Central America, in Costa Rica, we want to congratulate Asociación Jacana, which is a group of women resident in the country that focuses on conservation education. We will be in touch with you so we can send you your prize. Edgar Garcia from Guatemala, who's a biologist and naturalist, and he never stops educating on the World Migratory Birthday, even when he is doing his job. Here, he's working in the mangroves, but he's always promoting the World Migratory Birthday throughout the year. And in Nicaragua, we want to congratulate a young leader of the community, Perla Laguna, who has participated in our contests, and she's outstanding because she has involved a group of young people of her community to be protectors and educators for the birds in Nicaragua. So congratulations to the outstanding educators in Central America. For South America, we also have educators that were outstanding in the World Migratory Birthday in a creative way. We will start with Mateus Moraes from Instituto Butantan in Brazil. Mateus is a biology student at the university, and he never misses an opportunity to have education events at his university and in the natural surrounding area. So congratulations, Mateus. Melina Lunardelli in Argentina is a park ranger that has motivated her entire team to become educators in the World Migratory Birthday. She was also an ambassador and helped us to distribute materials in Argentina. Melina Lunardelli, congratulations for your great efforts, specifically in the Bahía San Borombam, where they hosted a 3-day festival for all families. And our new educator that has been celebrating 3 years consistently, Jesus Hernandez from the Birdwatching Club and Anzoátegui in Venezuela. We want to thank you for the efforts of promoting the World Migratory Bird Day on TV, on the radio, at schools. So we think that the binoculars are definitely going to help educators increase their efforts. So congratulations again. And now we are going to talk about the outstanding educators in Mexico. Congratulations to all educators. It is always very difficult to pick the outstanding educators, but we are always very happy with the efforts done by everyone. This year we want to highlight Evelyn Amador Soto from Awil, Chiapas. This is Pau Becerril. They always celebrate the World Migratory Birthday. Cecilia and Juan from Green Jay Bird Conservancy. They support bird conservation at the peninsula, and they also, of course, celebrate the World Migratory Birthday. Marisol Castro from Chilpancingo. She does tremendous effort to highlight the importance of birds in her region. Maria Carolina Can, Pajareando Cozumel. Since we started celebrating the World Migratory Birthday, she has done it with a lot of enthusiasm and energy. And Martín Torres Góngora, who has collaborated with Pau Tepic for many years. And he's always promoting bird conservation and has been an ambassador more than once to bring materials to Mexico. So congratulations to everyone. You are all great educators. We appreciate your enthusiasm, and let's continue celebrating the World Migratory Birthday. And now I'm going to leave the floor to Laura Babulal.
So we'll switch back to
And
English
well, just so you
now
know,
for the rest of
we're
the
switching to
session.
Spanish.
And so Laura and Claudia will be switching from English to Spanish.
Yeah, thank you again, Susan. Yeah, so for the Caribbean, our outstanding educators for 2025, congratulations to Diana from the Bahamas, Coral from Puerto Rico, Jessica from Cuba, and Rafael from the Dominican Republic. Congratulations to all of you for your outstanding work for World Migratory Bird Day. I know we're highlighting 2025, but I know a lot of you have been working for several years raising awareness for migratory birds in the Caribbean, being so passionate, dedicated, just simply amazing in how dedicated you all have been in, staying so dedicated to raise awareness in each of your countries. And we want to celebrate you all, and I wish we can celebrate everyone. But for this year, for 2025, congratulations to all four of you. And we are looking forward to seeing what you'll do with these fantastic binoculars. And it's very emotional to always have such just wonderful people who share the same passion. And I'm very happy that I have the opportunity here to help you all with Environment for the Americas. So thank you all so much, and congratulations.
Thank you, Laura. It is so true that so many of you are out there doing this program year after year, and we wish we had enough awards to give out every year to everybody, because we appreciate your support so much and all that you do in your communities. And with that, I want to turn to the U.S. Outstanding Educator, who is Sam Bartling. And Sam Bartling is a partner with the U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service, Willamette Valley National Wildlife Refuge. Sam has been with us for I don't even know how many years, definitely over a decade, doing not only World Migratory Bird Day, but introducing early career scientists to bird conservation and to event planning and to hosting events such as World Migratory Bird Day. One thing we know is that once events start to grow, they take on new names sometimes. So their World Migratory Bird Day event is called Wings on Willamette. And it has grown She does an amazing job reaching out to their community and making sure that everyone is engaged. So many thanks to Sam Bartlett. And this year, I'm going to go on and introduce the Canadian recipient for the award. Thank you, Autumn, for this opportunity. I'll turn it over to you next year. But I had to thank Ted Murphy Kelly because we have kind of a personal relationship going where I think Ted is one of the first people to call in the spring to ask about World Migratory Bird Day and what materials we have. He's also probably one of the most remote participants. He's up in the Yukon, and getting the materials to him takes months sometimes. And Ted gets a lot of the education materials to share within his community and to the people that he works with. And I also just want to say that I talk to Ted on the phone every year, and it's such a pleasure. But until I started looking at him on Google to do this presentation, I didn't know that much about him, but apparently he is such a conservationist of all wildlife. He's well known. He started the Yukon Bird Observatory, and he's just a spectacular person. So I just want to say how much we appreciate people like Ted for participating year after year. And seriously, with Ted, it's got to be at least 15 years. So thank you to Ted. Many thanks. And with that, we are so excited to give all of you who are on this call a sneak peek at what's coming in 2026. In 2026, we will have a theme that focuses on how some of our community science projects contribute to bird conservation. This, like our current year of shared spaces, is a wonderful opportunity to look at different topics. There are so many community science projects, such as the Global Bird Rescue Project, many of the plastic pollution platforms where you can submit data on plastics, the many bird apps where you can submit your observations, and these, of course, include programs like iNaturalist and eBird. All of these programs contribute to our growing knowledge and awareness of birds and their conservation. And so we are in the process of developing that theme. If you want to get involved, we always encourage you to reach out and give your opinions. We've done a couple of surveys already, but we're happy to include you more now that we've let you in on the back end of what's going on for 2026. So hope that you're as excited as we are about this theme. It's going to be one where you can really engage your communities in gathering information that benefits the birds where you live and beyond. Every year, like with Anna Maria, we have such a spectacular artist, and we are so pleased to introduce the artist for 2026. It's difficult to become a Migratory Bird Day artist. There's a lot of competition. We really look for qualified artists who really know their birds. And we also look for different styles so we can change it up every year so it doesn't always look the same. Anna Maria, again, did a spectacular job, and we knew she was going to be a hard act to follow, but we think we've done it because we have Luisa. And I'd like to introduce Luisa. This is our first artist from Brazil, and she comes to us with a very special talent and a different kind of art. So Luisa, I'd like to turn it over to you to talk a little bit about your art and to show what you've already accomplished. Thank you so much, Luisa. We're so excited to have you for 2026.
Thank you, Susan. I didn't prepare a speech. Hello, everyone. I didn't prepare a speech. I'm very nervous every time I have to speak in English. But, well, my name is Luisa. I'm from Rio de Janeiro, Brazil, and I'm a textile artist. I'm a musician also, and a bird watcher. And then I just want to thank you for the trust my work. And I'm a huge fan of initiatives of conservation, especially nowadays, and bird conservation. So I want to thank you for the invitation and to be part of this project, this program. It's beautiful. I'm just here listening to you explaining this past year, and I'm very happy to be part of it. And I'm embroidering the species, and it's almost done. I can't wait to see how it's going to look, and I hope you like it.
Thank you so much, Louisa. This presents a new challenge for us in 2026. We'll need to work on our translation into Portuguese or Portuguese to English. But this is a totally new form of art for us with Louisa's incredible ability to embroider each species that's been selected for the year. And if you're not familiar, all of the species represent some aspect of the conservation theme. So each of these species are selected with a community science project in mind. Throughout the year, we'll be highlighting some of these community science projects, encouraging you to get your communities involved in participating in one or another or some other project that you know of, to help learn more about the birds of your area and how you can better protect them. But if you can see from the detail that Louisa has here that her skill and talent in embroidery is spectacular. It's just amazing. So thank you, Louisa. We're really excited about how we're going to put this art to work for bird conservation in 2026. And I want to conclude, I'll be turning it back over to Alex, but I want to say that as you looked at the materials this year, same with what we'll be doing with Louisa's art, it goes on to so many different materials from the educational poster and pamphlet to the stickers and everything else. And we send so many kits out. We probably sent out over $45,000 worth of education materials in 2025. We actually ran out of posters. We had to ask a partner to send some back to us because we had none left. There's been such an increase in a demand for the materials, and that's because of the amazing artists and also the growth in World Migratory Bird Day overall. So we're going to end just by saying, hey, we can always use support. I'll turn it over to Alex to talk about our duck race.
Thank you, Susan. So this year we have a very fun fundraiser. It just opened up. And while we do have many sponsors for the program, we also rely on individual contributions from people like yourself. So on December 18th, we will be having a virtual duck race where we will be awarding Vortex binoculars to 3 winners. And the way to enter this duck race is by donating to Environment for the Americas. You can do that by scanning this QR code or the link in the chat. A $25 donation gets you 1 duck. $50 donation, 2 ducks and a World Migratory Bird Day t-shirt, and then a $100 donation gets you 5 ducks and a t-shirt in the race. So it's going to be a lot of fun. And a little bit about where your money goes. As you all have learned, we have educators all over the world, and these educators have a need for event kits and educational materials that we provide to them. So $100 funds one of these education kits to an educator in a Latin American country that we provide them to. And that's where your money goes with this fundraiser. And so thank you, everybody that's supported us already, and for all those of you that are going to support us.
Thank you, Alex. And I'm going to add that we send materials. People are awarded these kits all over the Americas. So we've sent kits to applicants from the United States, Canada, Mexico, Central and South America, and the Caribbean. So there are lots of groups in need of materials, lots of groups that don't have the funds to purchase materials. So your support really helps. Spread the word, please. And with that, I just want to give a big applause to our team, to Miguel for his coordination of World Migratory Bird Day across Latin America, Daniela for Mexico, Laura for the Caribbean, Alex for handling our communications, Lauren Sabo, who's joining us now for the first time to learn about this event and who will become more involved in helping us coordinate certain activities. And then, of course, again, all of our sponsors and all of you who have made this come true on the ground and are bringing bird conservation to your communities. So thank you so much. We're gonna cut the recording and give you an opportunity to speak without being recorded if you'd like to, but we appreciate your joining us today and we look forward to 2026.